Hi everyone, and welcome back to this week's live broadcast of the morning show, where we're going to be discussing a really great topic that we do have planned for you. But before we do get into that, we want to talk about the announcements. So we do have a lot of trade shows coming up, and it's something that we keep reiterating because we want you to take the chance or take that advantage of attending and seeing what's new in the industry as far as apparel, different substrates from soft goods and hard goods, and different items that are going to be trending in 2019. All right, so some of those trade shows we have first off is ASI Orlando. So if you're looking to go to a warm spot, this is going to be a great trade show where we're going to be going over a lot of promotional products and how you can really go after corporations or local businesses and just really learn what's trending there. So if you're looking for new markets or new niches to add, that's going to be a really great show for that. And those dates are the 3rd through the 5th of January. Aside from that, we also have another promotional products trade show. It's PPAI, and that is in Las Vegas. So you do have two options, one in Orlando and one in Las Vegas, and that is the 13th through the 17th. So those are pretty much the same general topic there, where it's really focused and geared towards promotional products. But of course, there are a lot of apparel printing things. We'll have a booth there and also be doing education. And of course, we have ISS Long Beach, where we'll be there from the 18th to the 20th. If you're looking for an additional educational day, you can come the day before. They'll be doing a ton of workshops. We'll be there hosting a 4-hour class. So there'll be a lot of hands-on demos of new products and apparel for 2019. But other than that, that pretty much wraps up the announcement. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this week's Look of the Week. So this was submitted on our Facebook page on Saturday, and this is by White River Design and Company. And they use Premium Plus High Tack for this application, and I really like the intricate detail that they were able to achieve with this product. And that's one thing we're always talking about, is being able to achieve a really nice detail with our transfers, especially when it comes to heat transfer vinyl, because it can be a bit tricky. So just keep this material in mind if you're looking for a heat transfer vinyl that you can use for just about anything. We have 100% polyester, so it's really great for those performance fabrics, but it doesn't just stop there. You're able to use it for accessories such as this apron that you're seeing, and some accessories that we'll actually be applying today. But this is most commonly used for performance fabrics because it applies at such a low temperature. So if you do need a low temp application for any fabrics that could be scorching, this is a great product for that. All right, so that's this week's Look of the Week. Thank you guys so much for submitting. If you guys want a chance to be featured on the morning show, you can submit your Looks of the Week on Facebook or on Instagram by tagging us Stahls Heat Printing. All right, so we'll go ahead and dive into today's discussion, and it's really all about printing more with your heat press so that you're able to profit more with the businesses you're currently printing for. So some of the most common apparel that we're decorating, whether it's screen printing, embroidery, or just with a heat press, is t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, and things like those items. That can range from quarter zips to full zip-up jackets. So there are a lot of apparel items, but one thing that we always talk about here are printing accessories and being able to profit more by adding on additional items that will kind of upsell by packaging those products together and getting one sell for all of those. So not only as a decorator do you want to maintain the business that you're doing well by offering the apparel that you are now, but also showing your customers, hey, I can print more than just that. It allows you to be seen as that one-stop shop. And it also gives you the ability to reach other markets and niches that you may not have been considering. Just by printing an accessory and having them see that, they'll view you as, hey, they do more than just t-shirts, so I can go to them for just about anything. So some of those really popular accessories are bags, which we'll be printing here shortly, one of the styles. But you have to consider all the different styles of bags. There's cinch bags, backpacks, laptop bags for corporate apparel, and they all reach different styles of markets. The one we'll be printing today is more of a retail ready bag where we'll be adding some personalization to it. But it goes beyond that as well. It really works well with if you're printing for spirit wear or a team industry where you're getting into leagues and things like that. Just being able to personalize that and offer that with maybe a jersey or a warm-up gear even. And some suppliers that do those bags really well where you're getting them for a nice low cost is Sanmar and S&S Activewear. All right, so they offer a variety of styles where you can get them low end and offer them at a higher price so you're able to profit more per piece. Other popular accessories are hats, all right? So there's bags and then there's caps, and I'm pointing these out because they're very easy to print, and we can get them at a low cost so that we're able to get a good markup for them. So bags is your number one. Number two is caps, and this doesn't just stop with heat printing. A lot of people are embroidering them, and it does require a different press depending on the location of the cap that you're applying. So if we're printing this, I'm definitely going to need a cap press that has a specific curved heating element so that I'm able to apply this. But today we'll be doing a different application where it just requires my standard flat press and a specific platen for that. But it doesn't just stop at structured caps. You have unstructured caps and then also beanies. All right, so some people do steer clear of beanies because they are made of an acrylic material, which would make this a hard to print application. But we're able to print this with a specific accessory that will allow us to heat apply this without it melting. All right, so we'll actually head to the press and apply some of these items so that you can see just how we can profit and be able to print these and offer them to our customers. So I'll be working with the Hotronix Fusion. I have my 6x10 platen loaded on here, and this is pretty much the standard platen that I go to for all of my accessory applications other than ones that are specifically made for shoes or hats. All right, so this 6x10 is what I'm going to be using for the most part, but I'm going to go ahead and load on my first accessory. So we were talking about a bag, and there are a few things that you need to keep in mind. Definitely the substrate of the bag. So this is 100% polyester, and it does have a zipper inside that I need to avoid in order to get a nice flat pressure for this application to go nice and smooth for me. So this zipper is actually just going to fall beneath the platen. Right, so that's what's nice about working with the Fusion is that it is completely threadable. So the bulk of my bag is actually falling below this platen, and now it's completely out of the way, so I have a nice flat surface to work with. Now I'm going to keep moving this back so this zipper is completely off of the back, and now all of this stuff is falling off to the edges of my platen, so nothing is in the way of me getting a nice flat pressure. All right, so I can just take my transfer so I don't lose it here. Before I apply that, I'm going to do a quick preheat and test my pressure. I'm actually going to move this up out of the way just in case this plastic happens to get on the platen and melt anything on there. All right, and now I can place my transfer down. I'm going to cover with a cover sheet and apply for the full application. So this is fashion film that we're using here. So we're going to apply that at 320 degrees for 15 to 20 seconds. Now, if you did want to alleviate some of your time spent in production, this is a type of item that isn't necessarily laundered. So whenever we do a preheat, this isn't something that's necessarily needed for something that's not going to be laundered. Now, if you are worried that your customer may launder this, then that's whenever you want to consider of actually applying or doing the preheat so that you're not risking this coming off from not removing any moisture or wrinkles in the fabric. All right, so this fashion film is a great item to pair with this, or a great heat transfer vinyl to pair with this item because it is so thin and lightweight, and it really just meshes with this bag very nicely. Right, it does have a nice matte finish, so I'm able to get a screen print look and feel on the bag. Okay. All right, so for our next application, we're going to do that beanie that we were talking about earlier. So whenever I'm working with this has a very high pile on it, which means it's just whenever it was manufactured, they used a lot of material to make this. It's not a thin acrylic. All right, so I need to make sure that I'm just working with one surface area of this. So I'm going to unfold it and lay it right on the edge. Now I do have an embroidered logo on here. This is a New Era brand, and it was sourced from Sanmar. So I want to counteract it with the other logo on this side. So I'm going to go on this side so that it's matching that placement. All right, I am going to get a new cover sheet so that the sublimation from the bag we just pressed doesn't transfer over. Quick preheat. I'm going to place my transfer. I'm using Flock 2 for this application. And then I'm going to use a special cover sheet. Okay, so this is a flexible application pad. And this is going to absorb a lot of heat so that this acrylic material doesn't melt. All right, so Flock applies at a high temperature of 330 degrees. So I need to make sure that that heat isn't going to melt the acrylic. All right, so with this application, Flock applies for 15 seconds. So I'm going to increase my temperature an additional 10 seconds. So with this flexible application pad, I always have to add an additional 10 so that that heat has enough time to make it through that cover sheet in order to cure that adhesive to the fabric. Right, and I am going to lighten my pressure just a little bit because I don't want it to be too heavy and create a box on my beanie. All right, so that'll count down a full 20 seconds. Flock 2 is a cold peel, so you will want to wait for that to cool. So we'll come back to that and peel that later after our other applications are complete. Okay, so you can see we have it applied there, no scorching, nothing melted, so this is still completely sellable. Now this acrylic is still hot, so you do want to be careful how much you're moving it around right now, because right now it's easy for this part to get a little stretched or worn like. All right, so we do want to wait for this to cool because acrylic is very sensitive when it has heat applied to it. So while we're waiting for the Flock to cool, that acrylic will cool as well. Okay. For our next application, we're going to be doing an umbrella. And umbrellas are a really popular promotional product item because we can get them for cheap and we can put a transfer on them in order to make them profitable. All right, so this was actually sourced from Sanmar as well, and I'm going to be using that same platen. And what's nice about umbrellas now is they're made with a polyester fabric so that we can print it with just about any transfer. All right, so we're actually going to be using a digital transfer. And there are a ton of wrinkles in this, so I am actually going to do a preheat even though this isn't going to be laundered. Just to get those wrinkles out, and we have a nice flat surface area for our transfer to apply accurately. Now this product I'm using Sublist Stop, okay? This is a CAD print, or if you're printing in-house, it is also a rolled good as well, so you can print this yourself. But it has a charcoal backing, so it blocks any dyes from migrating through. Anytime you're working with polyester, it's good to have, if it has been dyed, it's good to have that blocking in there just in case there is any ink that wants to transfer through. Okay, so this is just a 10-second application at 300 degrees. And this product sticks to just about anything. It goes beyond just polyester. It can apply to items as sensitive as leather. All right, but of course we still want to use that cover sheet, the flexible application pad that we used on the beanie to get that application. It is a hot peel, so I can peel that back. and the application is complete at that point. All right, so you can see it's a very thin, lightweight product as well, so it meshes really well with that umbrella substrate. All right, again, this is just complete polyester, and it hasn't damaged the umbrella at all at this point. Okay, so don't steer away from printing sensitive items because we have products that can stick to just about anything so that you're able to print them. So as you saw, we were able to just stick the bulk of that umbrella under the heat press, and that's why it's so important to have a heat press that has that threadability in there so we're able to print bulky items like that without damaging it. All right, so I'm going to unload the 6x10 platen and put in my hat bill press because we're going to do a popular print area that is commonly used with flat bill hats. Make sure I'm nice and locked in there. All right, and with this platen, we have the capability of doing 4 of these at once. So if I had a large job where I could do 4 at a time, I'm able to do that. All right, this product is our CAD-CUT Glow. All right, so it is a special effect product that will glow in the dark. Gets, I believe, 3 hours to every 1 hour of light that it's exposed to. And I am going to decrease my pressure a little bit since there is a lot under there at this point. Anytime you change out your platen, it's good to do a quick lock down of the press just to see what pressure you're at before you load your item. And this will apply for just 10 seconds and is a hot peel. All right, so as soon as that's done, we can peel that away. And now we have a personalized area of a hat that is very popular in retail right now. Okay. All right, so if I wanted to add extra profitability to this, I could print the front of it, the side, or even the back, depending on the product that we're applying there. Definitely something thicker because it is a mesh material, so you don't want anything melting through. Okay, so we'll go ahead back to the table, and I want to peel our flock back so you can see how that application finished up. All right, I like to use flock with acrylic because flock has a textured finish to it. It's definitely dimensional. It raises off of the substrate you're applying it to, and it looks really nice. So I love pairing it with acrylic because it has that similar texture. Okay. All right, and our last application isn't one that we actually need the heat press for. We'll be applying Flex Style to a mug. So this is really great for using for either corporate wear or corporate accessories. All right, so Flex Style comes in 2 different finishes as far as the adhesives go. We have a pressure sensitive that applies to hard goods, and then we have one that applies to soft goods as well. If you do want to see this application with the heat press, there are a ton of videos on the Stahls TV YouTube channel, so you can check that out there. But we'll go ahead and apply this, and then I'm going to actually hold this up to the GoPro afterwards so that you can see the dimension of the product. All right, so right now I'm just removing that backing, and I'm going to get my mug as flat as possible. And for this application, I start from the middle and then work my way out. And I don't need a squeegee or anything for this. I just use my thumb and put a good bit of pressure on there and just rub it across its entire surface area. Once that's applied, I can go ahead and remove the carrier sheet that it came on. And the longer that this is on there, the more durable it becomes. All right, so best case scenario, our customers hand wash these like we recommend that they do. But the longer this product is on there, the more durable it becomes, the stronger the adhesive bonds to this substrate. Now, if you're looking for particular substrates for this to apply to, it applies to glass, just like any regular sign vinyl would. So nothing that has any porous finishes where the adhesive isn't going to be able to grab onto. But I'm going to head over to this camera so you can see the dimension of this Flex Style. All right, so it's like an embossed look. All right, it has a lot of dimension to it. You can get it about just any color, and it's very easy to order on our online uploader. All right. So what this process is, we create a mold with the logo that you send, and we'll send you a proof so that you know what it's going to look like, and you can use this on hard goods and soft goods. So just keep that in mind for any promotional product printing you might be doing, or even local businesses. Okay, so we'll go ahead and answer some questions. I see a lot of those filtering in. Let's see here. The bag, where can I get it? Okay, so the bag is from Wholesale Boutique. So that is one wholesaler that I did not mention. So we talked about Sanmar and S&S Activewear. But Wholesale Boutique does do really fun retail-ready bags that you can personalize with names or monograms. And how is that for a dishwasher? So like I said, the longer that the product is on the finish, the stronger the bond becomes, but we do try to recommend that they hand wash, but it can go in the dishwasher. It's not going to start falling off immediately or anything, but it's just like sign vinyl. We do recommend hand wash, but if it does go through the dishwasher, it will last pretty long there as well. Okay, looks like we have all the questions answered. We'll go ahead and wrap up. One thing before we wrap up, just so that you guys can see some pricing and hopefully be able to integrate this into some of the sales that you're doing. Just this key takeaway of being able to add additional products together. So this kind of lays out how you can sell one item versus 3 items and gain a larger profit. All right, so for our bag there, it costs $9.80 to produce that. So that cost to produce includes the bag, the transfer, and labor and overhead. All right, so that's how we got our costs there. We can sell this for $18 and profit $8.20. If we add a t-shirt to that and sell it together for $30, we can get an additional $15.26 in change profit. And then if we're adding a beanie to that and doing 3 for a package, we can profit even more. So this kind of just gives you an idea of how you can profit more if you are adding more products together and selling them for a packaged price. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me today. We will see you in 2 weeks on the morning show. Thank you.